Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. Now, what we've done here is we haven't changed here. So 2024 predictions, this should say. Predictions, there we go. Let's try and get that right on my side. That should have been done before we started today's stream. Sorry about that. So there we go. 2024 predictions is what we are talking about today. Let's see if we can fit that in the box. There we go. We've got Bitcoin ETFs to discuss, and we've got some general cryptocurrency news there as well. So make sure, if you are new here, to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. Good morning to everybody in the chat once again. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let's see what's going on with the price of Bitcoin here. Some interesting price movements over the weekend, specifically on a token that we were talking about on Friday's stream. So we'll talk about that in just a second. Bitcoin is currently sat at $36,939. I'm pretty happy with that, but I do like to see that $37,000 price point being reached. But hopefully within this week we will see that once again. We've got Ethereum up at $2,051. We did see some positive news about a BlackRock spot Ethereum ETF last week. So we did see some sort of reversal on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Once again, we will talk about that in just a second. And we've got the biggest gainers and losers of the day, with Filecoin being up 15% and FTT being down 13%. So a lot of volatility for FTT, but that was up a lot on Friday, so it could have been expected to have seen a little bit of a move to the downside. Chainlink is down just below 4%. That's seen a massive rally within the last couple of weeks. Let's take a look at those charts there as well. So Shreddit says, too many think ETF will go ahead. I sense a no-go, then after having it, it will be accepted. Just my thoughts. Too many people think it's definitely happening for it to happen. So that is a really interesting point there. So basically what Shreddit is saying is a lot of people are expecting a spot Bitcoin ETF acceptance. So the likelihood is that it won't happen, and then they'll just accept it shortly after, and we'll get that volatility within the markets. Now that is a possibility, but what's really happening here is the SEC are in a corner where they're really struggling for reasoning as to why they can reject these ETFs for any longer. They'd have to come up with some new evidence that we've not seen before, and I think that's really tricky for them and something that the SEC is struggling to find, and therefore we've kind of put them in this corner right now where they have to accept these spot Bitcoin ETFs. That's why the expectation of acceptance is so high. Now obviously there are some reasons out there that they could pull and try and use as a reason to reject these spot Bitcoin ETFs. It's not 100% definite that they are going to be accepted, but there is a high probability that they are right now. Even if they don't happen by January, like a lot of people are saying, I believe they are coming within the near future, and therefore I am positioning myself for that. But you might be correct. They do like to play games with the markets, and they do like to create volatility. So what would create more volatility than rejecting them and then shortly after accepting them? That would be a crazy time. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart here. First of all, on the weekly chart, you can see we are at that higher level of resistance that we've been talking about. This has been used as a level of support and resistance on the price of Bitcoin before on the weekly chart. That's at the $37,765 level. Currently, it is acting as a level of resistance. Will it carry on doing so? Who knows? That's the question right now. If we take a look at Ethereum BTC, we can see there has been a reversal on that after BlackRock have been creating the filings for a spot Ethereum ETF, supposedly. They've created an Ethereum trust in Delaware, and they are making similar moves to the moves they made prior to a spot Bitcoin ETF application with the SEC. So things seem to be going ahead with that, and that has really caused a spike for the price of Ethereum. Now with this chart here, if this chart's going to the upside, Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. If it's going to the downside, Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum. Now right now you can see Bitcoin has been outperforming Ethereum for basically the entirety of 2023. Now we've had a break to the downside here. If we go to the daily chart, you can see how much this level of previous support has been used. Now, we did have a lot of volatility last week. We did see a quick rejection of that previous level of support and see it be used as a level of resistance once again. But now the new week's come in. We've seen the turmoil of the weekend. Are we going to see that reversal continue? Are we going to see Ethereum try and regain that level of support there? And that is at 0.05757. Now, this chart to me is very, very important. I talk about this chart a lot, and that is because with my cryptocurrency portfolio, I'm not trying to increase my dollar value. I'm trying to increase my Bitcoin value whenever I'm making trades. My end goal is to have as much Bitcoin as possible, not to have as many dollars as possible. And when you're looking at it like that, you need to consider whether investing in coins that aren't Bitcoin is going to be worthwhile. If the other coins aren't going to be outperforming Bitcoin, then I believe you're taking on more risk for less reward. When you're looking at the cryptocurrency markets, it's generally seen that Bitcoin is the least risky, and then as you go down the market caps, you're getting more and more risky. Now, obviously, that's a general rule. There are some tokens in the top 10 that I would not touch with a barge pole, and vice versa. There are some others in there. But that's the general rule. The lower the market cap, the riskier the investment. And when I look at this, I always look at the token I'm looking to invest into versus Bitcoin. If it's going to significantly outperform Bitcoin or even just slightly outperform Bitcoin, and I want to take that trade, I will be more likely to than if it's looking good on the dollar chart, but it looks terrible on the altcoin versus Bitcoin chart. Is it really worth that additional risk? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Now, typically what we see in the cryptocurrency markets is Bitcoin has a really nice rally and then it starts to go sideways. Now, when it starts to go sideways, that's when Ethereum picks up, and then Ethereum picks up, that's when the high caps pick up, and then when the high caps pick up, that's when the mid caps pick up. So we kind of see this transition effect quickly over the markets. We see a much broader version of that in the long term. On the weekly chart, we see that kind of transition from high caps to low caps, but in the smaller time frames, when we see Bitcoin have rallies like this, we have like mini versions of that where we see Bitcoin move, then Ethereum, then the high caps and mid caps and the low caps in that order. And that's really what we've seen this time around. We've seen Bitcoin have a really nice rally, and then we saw Bitcoin see some sideways action. And in that period of time, Ethereum has really moved to the upside, Chainlink has really moved to the upside, and some big altcoins have there as well. And now if we take a look at Cake, I want to take a look at this because this is a token that we spoke about on Friday. This had a really interesting level of resistance. So on Friday's live stream, I pulled this level across here, and you can see we've used this level as resistance many times now, and we got that confirmation bounce. Now this was on Friday, and you can see over the weekend this has had a massive pump there, so it's moved to the right direction. I did actually take part in that trade, so I was very happy with that over the weekend. Let's take a look at what's going on in the chat here. Jason Smith said weekend trading last weekend was a tough one to pick. It's even getting harder and harder staying within the CME gap. If we take a look at the CME chart this weekend, you can see we do not have a CME gap this weekend, so nothing too much to be worried about. I was hoping we were going to have one because I was going to trade it. A lot of people do choose to just trade the CME charts. I like having a CME gap because the likelihood of it being filled within the following week is pretty high, so it's a pretty nice trade to make, and I was all set to make that one this weekend because I didn't have many trades open, but it didn't happen, so maybe next time. But it has been a volatile weekend, I have to say. Things are heating up in the cryptocurrency space. We're getting more views than ever here on the live streams. We have more than 1,000 views on 2 of last week's live streams, and people are looking to get back in the markets again. FOMO is coming back. We are hitting that point in time where everywhere you look on social media, people are making profits, and it's so hard to stay away from getting FOMO and wanting to ape into all of the different projects, but we need to stick with our plans because that is when we made these plans when we weren't making decisions based on other people's gains, and that's what you need to continue to focus on. Don't make decisions based on emotion. Make decisions based on your plan. Now, if we take a look at Chainlink as well today, you can see it had a massive breakout from that level of resistance that it was under for 530 days. It is having a slight pullback right now. It is currently down from the high of the year about 8%, but it's up from the point it broke out. It has reached a height of 100% there, so very nice gains for Chainlink investors there during that bear market. We will analyze more the price of Bitcoin at the end of today's stream because we are going to be talking about Bitcoin in 2024, the different events that are happening in 2024 and what it could mean for the price. So make sure to stay tuned until the very end. Make sure to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification button as well so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We do these live streams every single weekday. We are on 10 likes and we're 10 minutes in. Let's try and get 30 likes by the time we're at 30 minutes in. Let's keep up this momentum. Let's see what's going on here. Jason Smith says, don't cut yourself short, Jess. The stream numbers are also a result of your hard graft. Thank you very much. We have been doing these live streams since Bitcoin was at $16,000. So hopefully now the markets are returning and people are getting so excited about the space once again, they can join in this community that we've been building. And with all the educated people that have been here throughout the entire bear market, day in, day out, we've been educating ourselves and we're ready to share that knowledge with anyone else that wants to join the space. Let's see what's going on in the crypto news here. First of all, the team at Crypto Saving Expert have started a new series here, the Perfect Trading Box. They're talking about different indicators and different tools to improve your trading in the Crypto Saving Expert news story, so make sure to check them out. We've got one on the RSI and we've got one on moving averages from this weekend, but there will be many more posted in the following weekends. We've also got a news article here called Build Your Own Crypto Wallet, and this is based on one of the courses that we have at Crypto Saving Expert. If you're a Crypto Saving Expert Plus member, make sure to go to the, what section is it in? It is in the Market Mastery section there, I believe. Is it? No, it's not. It's in, where is it? I should really know this. It is in Create Your Own. Create Your Own. If you go to Create Your Own courses on CryptoSavingExpert.com, you can check out the How to Build Your Own Hardware Wallet course and then how to build a hardware wallet from scratch. In fact, I think I might have mine. No, I don't have mine with me right now, but if you've ever seen a Raspberry Pi, in fact, I'll show you what a Raspberry Pi looks like so you can see what we are talking about. Raspberry Pi Zero it is. If you've already got a Raspberry Pi Zero, even better. This is what a Raspberry Pi looks like, and you're turning one of these mini computers into a hardware wallet, and you can buy the full kit for that on the Crypto Saving Expert merch store as well. So if we go to the merch store and we go to wallets, you can see there's the Raspberry Pi hardware wallet kit. So here you go. You get much more than just the Raspberry Pi in there. You get the Raspberry Pi, you get the bonnet as well, which has got a screen and buttons, and that's how you navigate around your hardware wallet. You get the wires to connect it all together, the SD cards, and all of the other wires that you need. So that you get the full kit in one to make your own hardware wallet from scratch, which is really, really cool. I've done that and it's really fun. Let's see what's going on in the cryptocurrency news anyway. Before we continue, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. Raina says, very good articles. Thank you very much for checking them out. If you have not done so, go to CryptoSavingExpert.com. We publish news, guides, courses, everything you need about cryptocurrency is all in one space. We've got the market data. You can build a portfolio for free, and you can check out our merch store there as well. One other thing, actually, before we do move on, I'm going to continue talking about the website for just a second. There's this page on the website that I don't think many people know about, and it is so useful. If you go to CryptoSavingExpert.com and you go to the deals section, this is a list of basically affiliate links. So these are all, I don't know if all of them are affiliate links, but some of them are. So essentially when you sign up with these links, you can gain benefits from using these links rather than just going directly to the website. So make sure to check those out if you haven't already. We've got some for wallets and VPNs there, so make sure to check them out. That's a really useful webpage there. What else have we got here? Let's move on to the cryptocurrency news and see what's going on. 23 viewers on today's stream. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button. We've got 15 likes. Let's try and get to 30 by the end of today's stream. What we've got here is the theft of NFT collections in China is liable for criminal sentence. So let's refresh this page. Here we go. The Chinese government has stated that the theft of digital asset collections violates a number of laws and should be met with criminal sentences. They will actually be charged for that now. In the next story, we've seen Poloniex hacked, over $100 million stolen, and white hat bounty offered. So Poloniex has suffered a security breach, resulting in over $100 million of assets being stolen. Now, we did report on this later last week. We saw suspicions around this from PeckShield on Twitter. In fact, we can pull that up right now. They tweeted saying, hey, you may want to take a look at this, to Justin Sun, the founder of Poloniex, and you can see there the wallet address where the funds were moving out of the accounts. Now, what a white hat bounty is essentially Poloniex will offer the hacker a certain amount of money to basically keep a percentage of the funds they've stolen and return the rest, and it will mean that they don't press charges or anything like that. So they won't do much more research to find out who the hacker was. The hacker will be able to keep a portion of the funds, and they will be able to use those funds however they want. However, if the hacker chooses not to accept that white hat bounty and chooses to try and keep all of the funds, they'll try and basically freeze the funds at any point in time. So we can see here, Wu Blockchain reported that the initial damage was $60 million post-hack. However, Arkham Intelligence has tracked this to now be $126 million at the time of writing. Now you can see the different tokens that have been stolen from Huobi in the last couple of days, and you can see here that they have said, we are currently investigating the Poloniex hack incident. Poloniex maintains a healthy financial position and will fully reimburse the affected funds. Additionally, we are exploring opportunities for collaboration with other exchanges to facilitate the recovery of these funds. So essentially what that means is they'll say, look, if the hacker doesn't accept the white hat bounty, the 5% of the funds they've stolen, we'll work with other exchanges. As soon as those tokens hit other exchanges, the tokens will be frozen and the hacker won't be able to reap the rewards of their hack, essentially. And that's what we want to see, because this is a malicious hacker. We have white hat hackers and we have black hat hackers. White hat hackers try and hack things and do exercises to try and find vulnerabilities in smart contracts so they can improve the space. Black hat hackers try and find vulnerabilities in contracts so they can steal the funds and run. Now, this hacker in particular has been offered a 5% bounty here, so 5% of $100 million, $5 million. So what would happen if they accept this bounty is they would have to return 95% of the funds they've stolen, $95 million, and they can keep that $5 million. Then they will not, Huobi will stop working with other exchanges to try and freeze the money, and the hacker can take that $5 million and do whatever they want with it. So you can see the benefits of taking a white hat bounty by now. A lot of the exchanges have previously worked together a lot to try and freeze assets like this. So if I was the hacker personally, I'd be taking the bounty option, but it seems that hackers don't always take that approach. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news here. We've got Celsius on its way out of bankruptcy as court approves exit plan. So Celsius creditors will receive approximately $2 billion worth of Bitcoin and Ether alongside the equity of in Nuco. So, over a year after filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, crypto lender Celsius is finally close to returning value to creditors and launching a new company. So, Celsius is one of the companies that fell in 2022. Now, in 2022, we saw a huge domino effect. We saw UST depeg from the dollar in May, and that feels like it was such a long time ago now. And since then, we saw a load of companies fail, Celsius being one of them. It was a lending platform, and unfortunately, it did file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but they are on the mend and they're looking to return value to creditors and launch a new company. So hopefully more positive things to come here, but we will see. Let's see what else is going on in the crypto news here. Thorchain was the third largest DEX by trading volume last week. Rune up 55% as well. And you can just see here in the markets, in the news, things are changing in the cryptocurrency space and people are getting excited about the markets once again. The prices are moving as if we are in a bull market. Now let's take a look at what's going on here with the next article. Rockstar to launch in-game cryptocurrency called R-Star. Well, this is the rumor that's going around right now. There's a lot of discussion about this and I wanted to touch on this again. So, Rockstar GTA 6 is making an announcement at the start of December, and it's rumoured that it could be offering play to earn. Now, this is a really interesting concept, and I spoke about this last week, but let's speak about this again. Now, last week I was stating that I think there's a real difficulty here because we are looking as a cryptocurrency space to break into Web 2 space and try and create a new level of adoption that we've not seen before. That's always our goal. We're trying to see more adoption. We want more people to understand blockchain and understand the benefits from that. Now, I don't think there's enough focus in the cryptocurrency space on how we are going to get that adoption, and I think I've thought that for a while. What we see in the cryptocurrency space is a load of people trying to build new projects, trying to get a piece of the pie. What we don't see enough of is trying to understand how we can get adoption of the cryptocurrency space in general. It's like the same thing I was talking about last week, where we're seeing 1 million layer ones being created or 1 million baseline products being created, but we don't need 1,000 of the same project. We need 1,000 people working on building on the original projects to get better and better and better. So it's kind of the same concept here, where we're seeing a load of people in the cryptocurrency space focusing on building in the cryptocurrency space, but not on getting that adoption from Web2 users. And that is a real problem. And that is where a lot of people believe gaming creeps in. Now, gaming is seen as a way where we could see mainstream adoption for the cryptocurrency space. Play to earn games are something that could capture the attention of Web2 users. And I completely agree with that. There is a massive possibility there. And if one sector is going to drive worldwide adoption of the cryptocurrency sector, my bets would be gaming would be high in my bets there. It would be one of the top sectors that I believe could be the driver of adoption. However, I don't think that's an easy task. Now, if we look at the traditional gaming space and we look at the different games that are in the traditional gaming space, it is incredibly difficult for a new company to come in and take over that space. It is incredibly hard for a new game to come in, and all of these people that play GTA and all of those major mainstream games on their Xboxes and whatever they've got, to come in and make a game that people see as better and actually play with for the long term. Now, that difficulty in Web 2 is something we would have to accomplish with a Web 3 game as well. To see adoption of a Web 3 game, our games need to be better than those in Web 2, and that is even more difficult. So I think there is a real difficulty here in how we can get adoption of gaming and play to earn, but I think there is potential here still. Now, how I see this playing out is I would see GTA 6 or GTA 7, or whenever a mainstream game decides they want to launch play to earn, that's going to drive a load of people to the cryptocurrency space, because they'll play that traditional game, they'll learn that they can make money from gaming, and then they'll say, what other games are out there? Where can I earn the most money? And then they'll turn to the cryptocurrency space and see what's going on in here. And that is the way around I think it's going to happen. I don't think a Web 3 game is going to break into Web 2. I think a Web 2 game is going to introduce people to Web 3. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. There is a real problem here of how we can get people from Web 2 to Web 3. And some of the most efficient methods have been by taking people from Web 2 to Web 3, not getting a Web 3 game or project into Web 2. We saw that Reddit, that platform where you post about, it's kind of like a social media platform, Reddit created digital collectibles. Now, their digital collectibles were something that you could just purchase like you could make any other purchase online. The difference being, when you purchased that digital collectible, those items online, users didn't know they were blockchain based, and they were actually NFTs. So you had to go to OpenSea or other NFT marketplaces to sell your digital collectibles, and that introduced a huge amount of people in how to cooperate with the blockchain, how to make transactions on a blockchain. So that introduced a load of people, and that's another way that we've seen Web 2 introducing Web 3 into the traditional systems, into the traditional projects, and introducing people to the cryptocurrency space. And that's just how I really see this going in the long term, and how we are going to get mainstream adoption on cryptocurrency. Now, on Bitcoin, I think it's slightly different. We will talk about the future of Bitcoin in just a second. We've got one more report to go though. Crypto scams in the UK rise by 23% here. A report has stated that crypto crime is rising in the UK. A report by Lloyds Bank has suggested that that's up 23%. Now, a report published stated that victims of crypto scams have lost $10,741 on average this year, up from $7,010 in 2022. The most common age range for crypto scam victims is 25 to 34, who make up a quarter of all cases. Now, that's pretty surprising, because a lot of people believe that those in the younger generations know what the risks are and how to avoid these scams, but it seems a lot of people have been victim to them at this point in time. So there's two methods being used by criminals. The illusion method, so this sees the criminals describe themselves as asset managers and does not see the victims send money to crypto exchanges. The fraudsters use several tactics to create a false illusion that the victim could make money by investing with them, like fake account images. And then we have the takeover method, where fraudsters convince victims to send funds to a centralized exchange in this method, first by telling them to create an account if they do not already have one. And according to Lloyds, criminals can even convince victims to allow them to open an account on their behalf. So from there, the funds are either sent to the fraudsters by the victim, or the criminal will do so themselves if the individual grants them access to the account. So You just have to be very careful. As usual, there are a lot of scams out there, specifically in the cryptocurrency space. It's not an easy space to navigate, so just be careful. But let's talk now about what's going on with Bitcoin in 2024. Before we get into this article, this is the big one of the day. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We've currently got 18 likes on today's stream. Let's try and get to 30 by the end of today's stream. Let's see what's going on here. Matrix Ports have published 6 market events for next year that will shape Bitcoin. Now, first of all, we've got January 2024. This is when Matrix Ports have anticipated that the SEC will approve the spot Bitcoin ETF, with it beginning trading in February or March. Now, if the spot Bitcoin ETF gets approved, we all know the price action that could happen following that, so we are all anticipating that with a lot of excitement. Now, the second event that they see happening is Circle could be listed on the stock market by April 2024. Circle is the issuer of the second biggest stable US dollar stablecoin, USDC, and they are looking to actually launch on the stock market. So this is rumored that it could actually be launched and listed by April 2024. Now, currently they are just looking into this and investigating this. They have not officially made a statement saying they are going ahead with a stock market listing, but it's looking likely. What else have we got here? We've got FTX to be relaunched by May or June by 2024, according to Matrix Ports, with it reclaiming a top 3 spot in exchanges ranking within 12 months. Now, wouldn't that be the turnaround that nobody expected? We spoke about this on the channel as soon as FTX filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. We came here on these live streams and Jordan, that Martini guy, came in and he said, we are going to see FTX relaunch and we are going to see SBF have a shorter sentence than everybody thinks. And so far, that is playing out exactly as he expected there. What we are seeing is FTX is looking more and more likely to relaunch, and we are seeing users hoping to be made whole with their investments in FTX as well. Now, the interesting part about this is Matrix believe that after FTX relaunch and make their users whole, it will be able to reclaim a top 3 spot in exchange rankings within 12 months. Now, what's happened here is FTX has had a load of investors, and these investors are choosing to invest in FTX rather than make their own exchange. Now, the reason they've chose to do so is because FTX has a reputation, whether that be good or bad, they have that reputation. And the other thing is FTX had about 7 million users by the time it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and that is a huge amount of data that they can use. So they do have some sort of pedestal to stand on rather than making an exchange from scratch, but is that going to be the reason why they fail, or is it going to be a reason as to why they are successful? FTX has such a bad reputation, and it's a really challenging decision to take this on and try and market FTX in the correct way. People that don't even know what cryptocurrency is heard what FTX was, and then it failed last year. So getting FTX to be a top 3 spot in exchange rankings within 12 months is a big challenge. A challenge I wouldn't like to take on. Those marketing team have a big challenge ahead of them to get FTX to be in the public eye, seen as trustworthy once again. And that's going to take more than just having monthly proof of reserves reports. It's going to take a lot of work there, and I find that hard to believe, but anything is possible in the cryptocurrency space. What we do know with FTX is all the bad actors have been removed. To be fair, the exchange itself, it's as trustworthy as any other exchange at this point in time. In fact, they're going to have a load of people doing their research into them. The SEC are going to be paying close attention to what FTX do, because the last thing they want is FTX 2.0 with FTX itself. So what we could be seeing here is, yes, it might actually be seen as trustworthy if what's happened is the infrastructure is still there. All the bad actors have been removed. New people of authority have been put in, and the regulators now have an eye on them. So in theory, it should be safer than it was before we even knew there was anything wrong with it. So in theory, yes, it may have the ability to get to a top 3 spot in exchange ranking, but everybody in cryptocurrency has seen what's happened with it and has lost that trust with the company. So it's kind of just out of spite where we're all choosing not to use FTX anymore. But the interesting theory there, let me know in the chat if you think FTX will survive and get to the top 3 exchange rankings within 12 months of May or June next year. It would be very interesting to see that turn around there. I think it's a big challenge for the marketing team. What else have we got here for the events of 2024? The 3 events above to catalyze Bitcoin momentum through 2024 and into 2025. And then we're seeing Ethereum's EIP 4844 upgrade is to take place in Q1 2024, although how much of a bullish effect this will have remains to be seen. And the US federal rate cut by mid-June 2024, aligning with the market pricing of June 2024. So that's what we're looking at here. And Matrix Port have said they're expecting $45,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. A break above $36,000 could propel Bitcoin towards our next technical resistance level at $40,000. Potentially reaching $45,000 by the end of 2023. So Matrix Port stated that Bitcoin could continue to rally into the end of the year and the beginning of 2024, stating the Santa Claus rally could start at any moment. Now, BlackRock have filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF as well. They've registered an Ethereum trust in Delaware, causing the price to rally to $2,000. And hours later, the world's largest asset manager revealed it also filed for a spot Ethereum ETF, igniting anticipation of a market shift towards the asset after a spot Bitcoin ETF is approved. So let's see what else is going on. We've got one last article here talking about Bitcoin, and then we'll pull up the chart there. We've got 20 likes on today's stream. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We've got here 2024 will be the year of institutional investment. We're seeing BlackRock already try and get involved, Fidelity, VanEck, and many other companies in the space. So, I mean, it's expected here. We're seeing BlackRock registered an Ethereum trust in Delaware. We've got a huge amount of companies trying to get involved in the crypto space. So we'll see how that plays in 2024. This is the bull market of institutional investment, in my opinion, and it could be a very, very exciting one. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin now and see what's going on there quickly. Let me check in with this and see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on there. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So weekly chart, you can see we have a level of resistance at $37,765, as was reported in that article. We have a level of resistance here. Now let's see where we've got a let's talk about the next levels of resistance, since we're already attacking this one. You can see, I believe we've got one there at $43,000. We've used that as a level of resistance, support many times. We've used it as a resistance again, and then we've used it as a resistance there as well. So we're looking at $43,000 in my opinion as a level of resistance. We can pull these up the whole way. In fact, you can see we've got one there, I believe, at 47,000. We've got one here at around 52,000. We've got one here at $60,000, in fact, and we've got one there at 65,000, and finally one there at the all-time high at $69,300. When we break through that, it will be a brilliant day. If you take a look at the weekly chart and you zoom out right now, you can see where we are in the markets. It's very clear. It's very exciting. We are having such a bullish period right now, and it's so nice to see this enthusiasm back into the markets, because it's very hard to see that in the bear market. It all gets a little bit doom and gloom, and it's very hard to see that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So it's just nice to see a rally and see people making gains left, right, and center once again, because that's what cryptocurrency is about. Let's take a look at what's going on with Ethereum quickly, and then we'll shut off today's stream. We've been on the stream for half an hour so far. Let's take a look at the daily chart here. You can see on the daily chart, we had a channel, but we've managed to break to the upside right now, and we've broke to the upside pretty significantly off the BlackRock news there. If we go into the 1 hour chart, you can see we do actually have a level of support here. So let's pull this across. At that point there, you can see we've used it as a level of resistance and then a support numerous times as well. That is at the $2,034 level. We'll see if we can maintain that and hold that. What we are looking at here is a level of resistance that goes across there as well. Now we are currently testing that resistance at 2,058. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Obviously nothing is financial advice. We're just looking at levels of support and resistance and levels to keep an eye on. But that is all we have for today's stream. So thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I hope you have enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. That's all we have for today. Thank you.